You take them. Oh yeah.
Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I am your humble host, Willie Bragg, and today we have with us Uncle Warren from Extra Booyah and The Secret Show, and affiliate with INN. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I've been dying to get on this show, man. This is hot ticket.
Well, I'm glad to have you on board here today, and I enjoyed the interview a few weeks ago, and I told everybody about it. So it's like, hey, everybody, I'm on the show here. You got to watch it. You got to watch this show. This guy, Uncle Warren, he has guests on Extra Booyah, and he has this awesome show every Saturday night, with this really hot lady named Jimmy on Saturday night. I mean, they're just a great team together. I mean, y'all got to watch it. And I'm like, you need to watch it. So I've been like, letting people know about y'all.
Hey, I'm hot too. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm at least smoldering.
Yeah.
Smoldering.
But yeah. So, but anyway, I'm just as I said, I've been wanting to have you on this show for quite a while, and it's going to be a treat because having you on tonight, and then Sunday at 8 p.m. Jimmy and I are going to be co-hosting the Willie Bragg Show.
What?
Yeah.
What is this knowledge you're dropping on us all of a sudden? That's crazy.
Yeah. We're going to be co-hosting together. And we're so that's what we're going to do. We're going to probably do the same thing that we do when we co-host What together. So I'm looking forward to that.
You seem to have taken to that show pretty well too.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it, and I'll be doing that first Monday of each month. We're going to determine what day each. Probably going to choose a Sunday. We're going to try to find out which Sunday each month. We're going to do that starting next month. But that's how we're going to sort of do that. So she'll be co-hosting my show one Sunday a month, and I'll be co-hosting the first Monday of the month on what. So that's how we're working that. So that's how, yeah. So that's how,
like a foreign exchange program. Only you don't leave your house.
kind of like that. Yeah, it's amazing how the online technology will work like that. So, but anyway, why don't you? I know we have probably a share audience, but why don't you tell for those not familiar, why don't you tell people about yourself?
Well, if your audience is anything like my audience, may God have mercy on both our souls. But you know, that's why we love those little rascals, those little cretins, right? Our little dirtbag lefties. I don't know. Wait, what was the question? I was totally going off on a Hollywood Squares answer, then I forgot the real answer.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah. You think I wouldn't have fucked that one up right off the bat, right there, Willie?
Yeah, oh, that's okay.
That's all right. I'm a little nervous. I'm used to asking the questions. I feel like if I'm not asking questions, then you got to be a cop. So you're not a cop, are you, Willie?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Don't scare me like that, because I'm holding.
No, I've had some blue lights flash. I had some blue lights flashing at me about a week and a half ago.
What?
Yeah, I was texting while I was driving.
That's just.
It gave me a warning, so you know that I was like, okay, he wasn't a bad apple, I guess. So he gave me a warning. He said, just don't do that again. So it happens.
Well, I guess since you're asking questions, I should probably answer them. So I used to be a radio guy a long time ago, back in the days, and I kind of miss that. I miss the radio days. And I went by Uncle Warren in those days for my radio name, because I was really proud of being uncle. I didn't care to be a parent, but I like to be a parent adjacent, being an uncle. You know, it's good, the good enough only, and then child services doesn't come after you when you fuck up. So, but so fast forward to later, it was with the advent of live streaming on YouTube, and now on a plethora of on other platforms you can do it. I was actually kind of inspired by a good friend of mine. We did radio together. Well, not together. We were in the same market together, and he would do this radio show. He would do it on some platform. I think he did it on Mixler. You ever heard of Mixler?
No, I haven't.
Mixler, yeah. Anyway, it's basically just a streaming app, but it's for audio, and it's for their own service. So, but you had to pay for it and stuff. And so, anyway, long story short is, I said, well, you should just be streaming on YouTube. It's free. You don't have to worry about it. And then I said, well, why don't I just start streaming on there too? And I can do it. I wanted to do something fun, like an entertainment show in the space where we have like a lot of information and news shows and punditry shows. And I wanted to try and find something in those cracks that would complement those shows, but at the same time provide something different in the way of entertainment. So we have noises. I don't know if it'll work on your thing here or not, but we have noises like like There's this show.
Get your hand off my penis!
Yeah, so we have the stuff like that, but I don't like to play them on high class shows like this.
Oh no, no. This show is lowbrow all the way.
What? No, this is top shelf. You quit with your lies.
No. No. Everything is cool here in this show. On the Willie Bragg Show, it's all everything is cool.
I'm just gonna say I am a tad bit under the influence of the Mary Janes. But I it's just because I'm so nervous being on. This is a top shelf show, Willie. I don't want. I know you were being humble, but you know, a guy has to prepare for this. Hey, John. Hey, Nikki.
Oh yeah. Hi, folks.
They're our audience, all right. We share them like it's like we're Kramer versus Kramer. Only we're not fighting in court over these rascals. We just co-own them.
Yeah, I remember that film in 1980. Yeah, saw that in the theater. 1980. Yep. Yeah, nothing wrong about being under the influence of the Mary Jane. I was for the legalization before it became acceptable opinion.
Do they have any form of? Is it even medical?
I think maybe medical might be under very, very, very strict circumstances here. However, Virginia, you can go to a dispensary. Is fully legal. So if I want to, I could just skedaddle up into Virginia, and whenever I want to. When I went up to DC for the Assange rally, I was like, and I came back to North Carolina. I was like, damn, I forgot it was legal. I was like, so I want to just on principle buy some to make some cannabis lasagna. That's what I want, just, yeah. So I just, no problem. So yeah, I would like to do that just one good time to make some cannabis lasagna, because I've heard, I just have a curiosity to see what it's like to see what the high would be like. And I haven't done this in years, since 2007. So I'm like, there's no reason for me to not go up to Virginia and to do that. So, just one day, just to get some and bring it back down to North Carolina. And then one day when I have a little bit of time, just go fully Italian that evening and prepare some lasagna and do what it, just, bake the cannabis into the lasagna and see what it can do.
So you're just gonna dump it in there. You're not gonna make it into like.
I think you can marinate it either in the meat, or if you're going vegetarian, I guess you can marinate it in maybe in the spinach and some of the. I personally like vegetarian lasagna. I'm not a vegetarian, but I like vegetarian lasagna. But that's just a me thing. Just what I like. But I like meat lasagna too. Yes, mushrooms. I mean, I like it in any form. Sausage.
You're really there for the cheese when it comes to lasagna.
I agree. Oh gosh,
and
yes.
That's the starring attraction there. Meat, no meat, it doesn't matter. I'm right there with you too.
Yeah, so I mean, and where we're talking about a tomato sauce or a white sauce, I'm not that picky either way. I mean, maybe I like the tomato sauce a little bit more, but I'm okay with white sauce too. So it's okay. But I think what I would like to do, just maybe one day I may do some baked lasagna with cannabis in it, see what it's like.
And then it'd be really baked.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely.
You call that twice baked lasagna because you baking it and then you bake,
Yeah.
You do be baking it. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the 1968 film by Peter Sellers called "I Love You, Alice B. Toklas"?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it though.
Oh, I highly recommend it. Is the thing about Peter Sellers, his movies when he's not playing Inspector Clouseau back in the 60s, a little bit in the 70s, a lot of it were box office flops, and he had to go back to playing Inspector Clouseau to get his reputation back, and he hated playing Inspector Clouseau. So, but some of his movies in the 60s where he's not playing Inspector Clouseau, weren't really all that bad. I mean, one movie I recommend is After the Fox, where he's an organized crime trying to bring some gold into Italy, and that's a hilarious film. And another one, again, Alice B. Toklas. He's one of the few actors from the UK that can do the American accent, and it doesn't. I don't cringe at hearing a British actor do an American accent. Well, he's playing a lawyer, and he falls in love with a young hippie girl. And in the movie, and he was such a gentleman when she was kind of stray. He let her to stay in his apartment, and he went to work that day, and she baked some brownies, and she put a little bit of she baked she baked some weed into the brownies, and and then he went out that evening with his girlfriend he was going to marry, and his parents, and they went over to have coffee and have some brownies. They didn't know where the brownies came from. He did, but he didn't know it was laced weed in there, and they were all like fucking high as hell. I mean, it's a funny movie. That's a really kind of a well-known scene from that film. So, but I highly recommend that.
Well, and of course he stretches his range in Doctor Strangelove too.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the American. What does he play? He plays a British, like lieutenant, I think. He plays an American. He plays, Doctor Strangelove, who I don't know what kind of accent is.
Yeah, he plays several roles in that film, and all of that, and everything. I've always said that his character as Dr. Fritz Fassbender in What's New Pussycat was the inspiration for Austin Powers. You ever seen that?
No, I haven't. But I've heard that was an inspiration for it too.
Yeah. So it was funny because what's it called? At the Mar in Paris, where he was going to commit suicide, where Woody Allen's character saved this, prevented him from committing suicide. I had a picture of myself taken when I went to Paris in 2006. I was like, hey, will y'all take a picture of me right here? This is where Woody Allen saved Peter Sellers' life in the movie What's New Pussycat. So I decided to do that. So yeah, I'm weird like that. So
yeah, I love spots like that. There's a few around here in New York. So you have the Ghostbusters Firehouse. That's a little bit off of the beaten path, but it's a little bit of an attraction around here. But my favorite are the what's in the movie Highlander. You ever seen that movie Highlander?
We talked about that, and I haven't seen it yet, but I will see it. So if there is a future show where I will be guest, I will be sure to have a discussion about this, because we were going to have a discussion about it. Remember?
There's going to be a quiz. So yeah, I have not forgotten about this. You will be quizzed, and if you fail the quiz, then I have no idea what penalties there'll be. I'll have to really think about that.
Okay. Well,
besides my broken heart, Willie, is it? So, anyway, there's some good spots in there that I've actually been to. In the movie Highlander, there's a couple of bridges in there, and then there's the movie studio. Maybe if you ever see it, we can talk about it in earnest, and I won't have to fake this enthusiasm that I have right now. So, you won't disappoint me like Dad did when he went out for cigarettes. And never came back. You know?
I see.
I'm kidding. He didn't smoke. He just left. Oh shit! Sorry. Anyway,
In New London, Connecticut, I have family in New London, Connecticut. We used to Groton area. Mom parents used to go and visit family there around Christmas every year growing up. So it was my chance to get away from North Carolina for a while. Like winters, we'll go up to Connecticut, and summers, we'll go to Puerto Rico. My mom's Puerto Rican, so and so my mom's family lives either up in New England, or they live down in Puerto Rico, and some spread across the country. Well, anyway, in New London, there's a shopping mall, and in that shopping mall, like 80% of the movie scenes from a mall with Woody Allen and Beth Midler, that same mall is supposed to take place in Los Angeles, but it was filmed in New London, Connecticut, and that's where it was filmed, in that particular mall. Yeah, so and Puerto Rico, when I see the rolling credits for the TV show The Flying Nun, I'm like, I see, going down Old San Juan, I'm like, I have been through that little area so many times. I was like, visiting, just like with the little cobblestone streets and everything like that. And it's like one area I tell people to, Old San Juan, I highly recommend. If anybody ever visits Puerto Rico, that's one area I highly recommend, is to visit Old San Juan, because that's like the very colonial section of the city, where you see the architecture from its time and everything. And it's just kind of interesting watching, looking around and all that, and near where the Spanish fort is.
I've never been to Puerto Rico. I've always wanted to go down that way, but always wanted to go with somebody who knew the territory, So
highly recommend.
You go.
Huh?
I said, maybe the next time you go, maybe I can pack a bag too, and we can make a buddy film and go down there and have adventures, like Romancing the Stone or something like that.
Oh, I remember that film. Yeah, I remember that back in 83, 84. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been in years. I owe my parents a visit. So, right now they're not going to be here for Christmas, because, they've been sick, and they didn't have COVID, but they had a bad reaction to a flu shot. So they're okay. They just got to convalesce, and they're getting everything fixed up from the hurricane they had. They were one of the luckier ones, but when you're around 80 years old, there's so much you can do. You know what I'm saying? So
I tell you too, being in those areas where hurricanes are prevalent like that too, that could take its toll too. But you get the you get the one of the good side effects of being in a nice tropical area like that. It's really beautiful. Just got to deal with those storms, batten down the hatches best you can.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, absolutely. So anyway, let's see what I'm going to ask. As far as the line of work that you're doing here, and I'm doing, and several of us have been doing, how do you feel about it?
I've only been doing this my shows for a little over a year, and I like the fact that the quality of people that I'm meeting in this space. I've always liked weirdos, so and there's a lot of good weirdos in this space. So and in doing so, I've gotten to learn so much more about what's going on in the political world and the world of news and stuff like that. Because I was right there with you. I was like watching like the MSNBC I was a fan of Rachel Maddow's, all the whole 9 yards. And when you start reading people's when they do stories about what's actually like what the mainstream media is lying to you about, and oh well, these are just some whacks, they're wackadoodles just trying to get some clicks or whatever. But you watch and you see how consistent they are. You see if they're on the ground reporting on things, if they're putting their money where their mouth is. Then you start building up a trust for people who are consistent like that with their opinions and their takes on reported news, that sort of thing. So, I love the people that I've met at INN. They've taken me in like a wet puppy from out of the rain, in a basket with a sign that says, take this little shit and raise it because we don't want him. And they brought me in and they fed me. And I said, all right, I'll do your damn shows for you then. That's the way this has got to do. I got to. Can I have some more food, please? No, they don't. They don't feed me at all. So, they are nice to me. But yeah, and getting to do stuff like team ups like this. We don't know each other. We'd be like, I don't know about this guy. I don't know about this Willie person. I don't know about this Uncle Warren person. Who does that? Who makes people go around and call him Uncle Warren when they're not related? That's a little bizarre.
Oh.
So but here we are, right? Two silver spoons together, you and I.
Absolutely. Yeah. Several years ago, I never thought I'd be doing this. I know, have a small audience, but there's nothing wrong with a small audience. I enjoyed doing this. I get fulfillment out of it. So, and I encourage people to do this all over the place. I tell people, start a podcast, I tell everybody, especially if I think they got something valid to say, I tell people, encourage them to just start a podcast.
Yeah. It's not like you got to go to the town square anymore and, ring the bell, hear ye, hear ye. You have the town square at your fingertips. It's just, I like the fact that we have a lot of people in our space and that we know the technical ins and outs. Like what you do here for this show, you use StreamYard, right? Which is it's fairly easy program to use, but at the same time, you can get all kinds of cool stuff out, all kinds of cool looks and graphics and stuff like that. There's a lot you can do with it.
One day maybe I'll do OBS, but right now, StreamYard is what I'm using.
Right. And you don't really, unless you're one of these people that loves like creating your own like graphics and stuff, and you love torturing yourself like I do, then you don't really need it, unless you're ready to go down that route. And it is true. Like OBS Studio is a good program for if you have the technical knowledge, but you also do like work with Canva or Photoshop or whatever you use. It's good little extra stuff. But you just want to get started right off the bat and just be heard. StreamYard's fine. That's just as and it's if you're like, I just want to stream to my YouTube channel, then I'm not trying to do a commercial for StreamYard, but it is pretty easy. You can stream to the thing, and I think it's all free and it's all web based too. So yes, definitely get your voices heard out there. No, there's no such thing as a absurd voice or you may have differing opinions with people, which is fine, but you may also have some ideas that no one else has heard of either. So it's good to be heard out there,
Yeah, I think that the people need to have their voices heard because everything is so spoon fed to us from mainstream media, and it's a controlled narrative, and everything is so controlled. I mean, the news that's fed to us. I mean, you can see with the rail strike, ordering them to go back to work. I mean, you can see the squad prove that they're controlled opposition. I mean, having to see AOC, vote to the right of someone like Senator Ted Cruz on fucking, on something that's supposed to be pro worker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And it's it's gotten to the point where I trusted a political party at one point in my life to the point where I just don't trust any of them. I do still believe to a certain extent, like some of your local, your local and state ballots. You may have some ballot initiatives on there where your vote actually counts. I would definitely say people need to do those. Anywhere, just assume like on the national level that's all a done deal. They're pretty much, they've got in there who they want in there or who they'll allow you to vote in there. And I know that sounds cynical as hell, and it probably is, but
very truthful too.
It is. I mean, we've been around long enough, Willie. We're not stupid. We both wear glasses, so technically we've got 8 eyes amongst us. So how can we not see this stuff that's going on? Of course we see. We see it, we hear it, we read it, damn near can taste it and smell it. It's what's going down. And I don't want to sugarcoat it to these kids. I mean, I like the kids that are coming up, but we ain't got time to be all thin-skinned and, give out feelings trophies and shit like that anymore. We got to tell them the truth. And they need to know that what they're hearing on mainstream media is all bullshit.
Absolutely. And that's the thing right there. People a country was shut down over seemingly hurt feelings, and it's not just one side, is the other side too. I mean, and that's one thing I like to do in this program is to kind of put an end to this myth that only one side gets hyper offended in the year 2022 or 2020 when I first started this program, and that's only the intersectional woke skulls are the only ones that get offended. I'm like, well, the other side get offended too. What? The other side doesn't do the cancel culture. The other side doesn't silence. The other side doesn't clutch their pearls. They invented cancel culture. I'm talking about the right. They invented the fucking cancel culture, and they still practice it.
And they both use it. Yeah, they both. Yeah, they both parties take turns using it.
And I don't mind calling it out when some goofy people on the left do it, but I want to let people know in the middle that there are people on the right that do this shit all the time, and they're led to believe that the right don't do this shit, that the right are full of free speech warriors, and we could see what Elon Musk have done to Twitter. Where okay, Donald Trump is back on Twitter. I don't have a problem. I don't support Donald Trump. I don't have a problem with him being on Twitter either. But you're gonna go have Donald Trump on Twitter, then what the fuck are they doing kicking Garland Nixon, for example, off of Twitter? Or any other person on the left. I get it, but to the right wing, free speech means right wing speech is protected. Left wing speech, is absolutely, fair game to go and attack. And I'm consistent. I believe in protecting all speech, all of it.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way you're going to get progress is you have to have speech across the board. free. You know, I mean, if somebody tells you that you're not allowed to say certain things, then you're not going to engage in any kind of dialogue because you're not going to walk on eggshells with people you don't know, that kind of thing. You got to have free dialogue.
Absolutely.
And also, I'd like to address Kelly in the chat. She says, "Is Warren in a mountainous Tron world?" Yes, I am in a mountainous Tron world. I have not found what's his name, Bridges, Jeff Bridges yet, but I'm currently searching for him right now. But back to what we were talking about. Sorry.
I wanted to just I wanted to comment on John Kemper's comment here real quick about Pancake being up, and I want to say that I'm going to dedicate the year personally, 2023, to free speech. So I'm hoping that around the that's my plan. The year 2023, I'm planning to go and sign up with Pancake, and I'm going to try to do my part to promote the hell out of it, because I really believe that it's imperative that we all do this to protect it, to protect our speech, because if we don't, the horrible people on both extreme ends, one or the other, is going to win out, and I don't want, and I'm not trying to be a centrist. I hate the thought of being accused of being a centrist, but I just don't want anybody's, unless somebody's like threatening somebody or something like that, I don't want anybody's speech to be, fucked with.
Well, yeah, I think with free speech, it shouldn't be a left-right issue or a centrist issue. It should be common sense issue, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the left, you're on the right, wherever you are on the spectrum there, it shouldn't matter that you should have free speech for everybody, because, like I said, it's the speech. They try to use the speech to divide us, because the powers that be, the billionaires, the oligarchs that are running the show, they do not want us to be in sync with one another. They do not want us communicating with one another, because we will actually find out that we have a lot more in common than what's being perpetrated in the propaganda. Propaganda tells us that we are all divided to hell and back, but you go talk to your neighbor, you go to the store or something like that in your little small town, wherever you're at, and you see somebody that you've known forever. You don't think about politics with that person. You just think of your relationship with that person. And that's how it is. They're trying to destroy those relationships in the small communities and stuff that we have, so that we won't get together and call out their bullshit en masse.
I get called out by some of my progressive friends. They're a little more on the shit lib side of the equation. And they're like, because I have friends ranging from left to right and right to left. I mean, I have conservative friends who are Trump sycophants on the right. I have friends who are hard left, who are tankies. I mean, I have everything in between, and so I got some shit list so telling me, how can you support this person? How can you support? I'm like, I first of all, I live in North Carolina, and I live in even in Raleigh, which is moderate, where the politics is kind of moderate around here, moderately blue. You got all kinds of people, and I have family that I have to. Some local family I have to interact with, and if I sit there and pick and choose and toss anybody's side that disagree with me over a small issue, or even some fairly big issues, depending on what they are, I would not have any friends around. No.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I think we said this when you were on my show. Half my family's blue MAGA, the other half's red MAGA, with a little smattering of indies thrown in there in the mix, And that's the thing. It's just like I go around on my traveling preacher tent shows. I'm not preaching the gospel of Jesus. I'm preaching the gospel of being an independent voter and getting out of the cults. You know, if and I found this out a while back. And I found this out during the Gulf War when I saw that what's his name, Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, uh, they were running the House and the Senate at one point during which George Bush was president, and they did nothing. They did nothing to punish him, to bring charges against him. They had no intention of doing that at the time. And that's when I knew there was all a rigged game where Democrats, Republicans, they all play the same games. They just give you a little different lingo when they take office each time, but for the most part, they're doing the same bullshit. Right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And nothing's going to happen to anybody when they're accused of something, and unless unless there's some extreme circumstances, whether it's Donald Trump or whether it's AOC who's under investigation right now, nothing's going to happen to these folks. Nothing's going to happen to Hillary Clinton. Nothing's going to happen to George W. Bush. Nothing's going to happen to anybody because, I mean, what George Carlin says, one big club and none of us are in it.
right. Yeah, and if you they can't do that. They can't prosecute anybody because then all the dominoes start falling and it exposes what the system is. So they have to hold it up. These people doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, you're allowed to get away with these things because your prosecution would mean an actual transparent look at what really goes on with these parties and how and we already know they're private parties. They can nominate whoever they want for their primaries and stuff like that. So we all know that's a joke. That's why we say, focus on your local and state, keep an eye on those, but your national, it really doesn't matter. I mean, I know that sucks to think about like that, and I'm an upbeat guy, dude. I'm sunshines and rainbows and kittens and shit. You know what I mean? But we sometimes you got to play reality too, and that's a sucky game. Pretty boring sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, in other countries, it might be a little bit easier to be a little more partisan, but here in this country, you have to opt out for some form of independence because it's just, like you said, the cults that they belong to. I mean, that they just divide. I mean, and everything is a goddamn culture war. Every issue is a culture war. Whether we're talking about COVID or whether we're talking about just anything, they just turn it into a culture war, and they just can't give it a rest. A tragedy happens, what happens? They turn it into a culture war. If a mass shooting happens, the liberals will call out for gun control, but the right wing will say, we'll come up with a conspiracy theory or say God is casting judgment because gay marriage or some shit like that. I mean, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get it brings out the nuts out of the woodwork and the useful idiots to stir up the division. Because we're getting to the point now. It's like when something happens, we don't say, "Oh, why did this happen?" Out of some sort of need for an answer to an existential question. It's more like, all right, which 3-letter agency did this? Was this FBI? Was this CIA? Was this, was this that? And that's how we are now. We're also cynical. We know it can't be, Occam's razor. It can't be well, I guess it can be. I mean, because a lot of times the easiest answer to these questions is like somebody was on the inside that had knowledge of this and stuff. Sure enough, a A lot of this stuff, you're starting to figure that out. You're seeing a lot of stuff pop up that people were calling conspiracy theories not too long ago that are now, saying "I told you so" instead. So,
Yeah.
these interesting times we're living in.
Yep. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And but thing about it is, I think that we all need to find a way to keep positive and all of that, and not necessarily confirmation bias, but just kind of talk to people and try to find the best qualities in people and focus on that. And I need to practice what I preach, because sometimes I can be a little negative at times. So
No, I hear you. I'm same way too. It's like my old man used to say, he said, "Be a good person, but don't be a sucker." You know, because we got to take care of ourselves too, at the same time. So we're trying to be good people out here, but we don't want to be suckers either. And I do. That's the thing. It's like I meet all kinds of people, like in real life too, that are mostly, workers, blue collar workers. Maybe work, restaurants or grocery stores, that sort of thing, retail. And that's where you find like the real people, like they have their real people with real problems. A lot of them are similar to your problems or my problems. And you have these folks that are so out of touch that they may have and they may be well off financially, and they've forgotten what it's like to be poor. Maybe they grew up poor and they forgot. It's like those are lessons you never want to ever forget, because you never know. You never know when you're going to be poor again, and you're going to have to learn how to live like that. So we don't have like enough empathy with other people. I mean, we do, but you don't see it because empathy doesn't get the clicks. It doesn't get the views, that sort of thing. It has to be this division, this hatred that's pulling people apart, that kind of thing.
right, yeah. So in the year 2023, what do you see happening?
I do not see flying cars. I'll tell you that. There will be no flying cars. Willie, I've been waiting for almost 50 years. Flying cars. Fucking Jetsons really did a number on young me, right? I was like, I'd watch the Jetsons. I was like, man, we have like these apartments like up in the sky and flying cars and stuff. Got none of that.
Yeah, I think that takes place in 2062.
Oh well, then we got some time. Then never mind.
Yeah,
Well, forget
yeah,
forget
yeah.
what pessimist asked.
Yeah,
All right,
I just thought about that. I happened to be watching a small documentary on the Jetsons, and it's supposed to take place in the year 2062.
oh, so that's 40 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now then, now it could now. All right, could that I could still see that happening. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. I think he was born in the year 2022. George Jetson.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So technically, if the show is going to be real, this George Jetson guy is born sometime this year. Yeah. So if it ends up being that being the case,
I wonder if it's going to be like that. Are we going to have these high rise apartment things? Well, there's already high rise apartments, but they're just so expensive.
yeah.
I don't think you'd be able to afford the apartment and the flying car too, because I'm pretty sure the flying car would be expensive too.
Yeah, it must be in the nice part of town that the Jetsons live.
Right?
Yeah.
The upper east side, because it's up. It's like way up in the air.
Yeah.
We have tall skyscrapers here in New York. There's the one that's like that's the skinniest one. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have not noticed how skinny they were, but
It's like at the very, I think it's at the north end of Central Park. And it's just it's not the tallest one in the world, but it is the skinniest. And yeah, so anyway, I didn't know. I don't think it's important information, but you know, in case you're looking for really skinny uh uh buildings like that, that's that should be on your list. I'm just saying.
well,
Um,
occasionally go through there, to New York occasionally. So I could try to look for it next time.
yeah, you'll have to squint because it's really skinny.
Oh,
It's almost like a needle going into the sky.
needle going into
Uh, so for 2023 predictions, what's going to happen in 20? Well, that's the big pissing contest for the 2024 elections, right? So that's we're going to probably find out who the stallions are and who the gimpy horses are in this race. And then once we hit January, that's when we start with the primaries. That would be 2024 January. So next year it's just going to be a lot of hee-hawn and flea-flexing and fluke-flarting and other words that I just made up to go along with political punditry.
this word sounds very accurate, to tell you the truth.
I want to say there's going to be some random asteroid that hits like the Pacific or something, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do any damage, but it scares enough people to think, "Oh, is this just the baby, and then the mama's coming?"
Yeah, well, I call the asteroid sometimes Ron DeSantis. So
Ah,
yeah,
he's
so,
the ass in asteroid.
absolutely, yeah. So yeah, well, it's kind of funny, just seeing Trump back on Twitter, because I'm going to look forward to the verbal violence that Trump and DeSantis are going to be engaging in. They're going to be so wounded, and so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be it's just going to be interesting watching them fight and all that. And and as the Democrats flock behind the boring, Joe Biden, who watching paint dry is more interesting than listening to Joe Biden.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you think that's what it is? They're just waiting because has Trump even made a tweet yet since he's been allowed back
I
on?
have not seen a tweet yet. I don't follow him, but I do occasionally peek just at Twitter just to see what he says,
Yeah,
if he's saying
oh,
anything. Yeah,
peek and tweeter. Okay.
yeah.
Um, no, I would think that if he hasn't said anything yet, he's saving his venom and his for DeSantis whenever they get started. So
Yeah. Yep, and it looks like I'll be busy probably on Twitter, probably insulting Brooklyn Dad Defiant to the best of my ability. It need worse.
oh yeah, he's terrible. Those paid ops people. I mean, and they're so obvious by now too. Like your Brooklyn Dad Defiance, your Jersey Joe lady, and these Miami Jeff people. It's just yeah, they're just we were talking about it. They're just a means to divide people up. They want to try to get you to believe that you know Brandon is doing a good job, and you're like, no, dude, he's not. It's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit where you have some absurd character on there that's trying to convince you that something silly and nonsensical is happening, and the person on the street's like, no, that's not correct at all, and the person's like, well, of course it is, and it just seems like that's what these kind of people remind me of.
Yeah, it's just
Clowns at a circus, just right. 3 for $1. Yeah, the hoop's not rigged or anything. No, of course, it's totally fine.
He brings out the cynicism in me when I see Brooklyn Dad Defiant. I'm like, just now. I do technically, do I follow him or do I peek at what he has to say? No matter, I just check what he has to say, just to, and be like, oh my god, he say that, it's just like, he's the pits. I mean, he really is. So anyway,
I like this. I like to stand behind a curtain with a lit cigarette going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And just to go back behind the curtain, all creepy, like over at Brooklyn Dad's house. I heard he doesn't even live in Brooklyn. That he's some deadbeat dad that lives in Jersey.
Oh, for real?
That's the word on the street, man. I don't know. I can't corroborate nor can I deny that this information is false.
Okay.
All I can do is just deliver it to you in the way it was delivered to me. It was whisper, hey, and you keep a secret.
Right.
Well, all these people are just gross.
Well, I'm gonna I have to go to work in a little while because I'm gonna do the chat thing here, and I'm gonna have you back. So if you would like to come back sometime, maybe in 2023, we'll love to have you back here on the show.
Yeah, I'm not busy later tonight. You want to do it later?
Oh, I gotta go to work in a little bit.
Well, can you do it at work?
Oh no, I can't. I can't do this at work. So,
dude, it's like the 70s. Just go in the bathroom and do coke, okay? That's
I wish I could. I wish I could. So anyway, let me go ahead and
don't do coke. I was lying. Don't listen to me.
Oh, that's all right. Let's go through the chat line here real quick, and John Kemper. Oh, it's like John Kemper said, "Hey, Willie and Warren," and hey, how are you doing, John? Nikki, hey, how are you doing, Nikki? Yep, she was streaming earlier today. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Kelly says, "I'm worried for Warren on the top on this top shelf show." Oh, top shelf show. Oh, laughing out loud. All right. Dang, you Eastern time zone. Shake fist at clock showing Central Time. E. Heller.
I think we should all be on the same time zone. What do you think?
Well, the whole United States, might make things a little bit easier. Well, he might let him hang Kelly. I'm not for hanging anybody. Pick me up. Oh, yes, Nikki. If you want me to, I will. If I go to Virginia sometime soon. E. Heller. Let's see. All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I like what he says here. Lasagna, lasagna bus.
Lasagna bus.
Yeah. Yep. Lasagna bus. Yep. Herbs. Yep. Special herbs. Let's see. Are you comfy for the holidays? I guess I'm okay. Okay. Mushrooms for lasagna. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I thought. Let's see. Are we talking about mushrooms, or are we talking about mushrooms? Let's see.
I can see mushrooms in there.
Yeah. I have to go to the Pacific Northwest for that. Let's see. I think the garlic bread is a proper vehicle here. Yep. Let's see, Nikki. All right. Let me see what we got here. All right. Let's see. Dirtbag-Left us. Oh, we got somebody here named Dirtbag-Left us. I know this guy. Yeah, he lives in Colorado. Look up how to infuse it into olive oil before you put it into the sauce. Okay, I appreciate that. Let's see. We got a great heater. Let's see. Special herbs, garlic butter. Oh yeah, I love garlic butter. Let's see here. All right. See.
Mothra. Awesome.
Yep. Mothra, careful. Let's see. All right.
The Kichka.
Let's see here. We are going to see. And I'm not going to go through every one of these because I got to get ready for work here. So, and I normally try to go through everybody, recognize as many people as I can. But let me go and say hey to Les Bones and Big Mag Crab. Let's see, and thank you for bringing up Panquake, John, because I'm planning to. I'm a big firm believer in that. So and I think that's going to be. Oh yes, let's see. I think that's going to be. I'm just going to do. I think that's going to be it for the chat lines. And I'm sorry for anybody I haven't mentioned tonight. So Warren, it's been great having you here. And again, I want to have you back in 2023. And let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I will make those plans.
All right.
Be in the mix.
Okay. And for everybody, if you like what you heard, please press like and let me make my announcements first real quick. Saturday night from 9 to 11, I will be streaming. Be my Saturday night stream for KRTD Media. On Sunday, 8 p.m., Miss Jamie and I will be co-hosting the Willie Bragg Show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let me say, on Saturday night, the Secret Show, Warren and Miss Jimmy. So y'all be sure to go and be there because I will be. And we need to support each other here in independent media, and because corporate media has nothing to offer for us. So if y'all like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment any way you disagree. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. And to subscribe to my program here on YouTube, Twitch, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to KRTD Media as well. And subscribe to INN, Indie News Network, as well. And until next time, I will bid you all farewell. I got to go to work now. So we will again, Warren, love having you here, and we'll love to have you back. So I will conclude by saying to you all, music.